What's going on, guys? It's XQ420 here. I want to welcome everybody back to the channel. Hope y'all having a fantastic day. If it's your first time here, don't hesitate to hit that subscribe button for me. You will not regret it. We keep things right, keep it tight, keep it toasted on us. Today's video, guys, we got to do a commemoration anniversary. It's an anniversary right now in the US of A. 1 year anniversary of 15 days to flatten the curve to save the hospital systems, because they were going to get completely overran by the COVID. And that would cause more people to pass because of that. Except it never really happened, you know. But we're still 365 days into 15 days to flatten the curve. There's still restrictions. Hell, at least when it was the original 15 days to flatten the curve, folks weren't acting a fool about a damn mask. I mean, at least during that time, they won't sit in here telling you to strap up, because that's what's going to save everybody's life. Now, what I got in front of me is the paper that ruined the world, okay? Now, that was in combination with the propaganda that is China that they put out across the world, and also the disaster that is Italy, because their hospital system sucks. I mean, that's just all there is to it. We got to be serious. But they be running about full capacity and ain't nothing going on. There's a whole lot of old folk around there. We got to get serious. But this paper right here and the man right here, Neil Ferguson, the fiend himself, okay? The one who said, oh yeah, a lockdown is what we got to do, because it's the only thing that's going to be able to save the world from certain destruction, an apocalyptic moment. And folks are still waiting for the apocalypse, and they hoping for it. I can see it in their eyes. They're like, yeah, man, it's still apocalyptic. And it's not. You know why? Because it was never going to be. Alright? And folks are still holding on to this convid stuff because it's a cult. It's a flat out religion now. Let's get serious. It's a religious belief. That's all there is to it. The cult of mask, the cult of lockdown, the cult of you need to close your business, lose your freedoms, and a whole lot of the people who were telling you to do this are A-OK. They're still getting paid. They still got their benefits. They have no problem sitting at the house, withering at the house. They have no problem at all, because it won't affect their bottom line. Now, if it was affecting their bottom line across the board, a whole lot of folks would have already been over this. But no, as long as they ain't affecting their bottom line, you know what I'm saying? It's all good. It don't matter whoever else it destroys as far as their livelihood. It's fine. Now, I want to get down to something right here in this whole disaster of a paper, and I want y'all to see this, what their original IFR was. Okay, they go through all this transition model, all this, but look at this. Look at this right here. Okay. Look at this. Okay. I mean, I just want y'all to see this. So, symptomatic cases requiring hospitalization. Now, folks, there's still kids that ain't going to school. Okay. There's still kids that ain't in class. All right. 0.1%. 0.3%. This is what they think. And I'm going to stop right there. I ain't even going to 20 to 29. And the percentage of cases that were required as hospitalized requiring critical care, 5% of the 0.1% that were hospitalized. Okay? And look at these infection fatality ratios. Now, this is before anybody knew anything. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was completely confused. They're like, they just sitting around, running in the walls, just freaking out. But even then, look at these low numbers. And you don't get into a substantial number until you get to 60 to 69 of the infection fatality rate. And look, even these numbers were off kilter. They were even high. They were high on this number at right here, 80 plus, 70, 79. It's according to the CDC, it's just 5 point something percent. So from from 70 and up, it's like 5%. So it ain't even getting as high as the 9.3%. Okay? So even back then, they were telling you, hey guys, for the majority of the population, you're good. And yet, we told the majority of the population to stay at the house. Okay? Now, when you tell them that, what do? you might increase the likelihood that this thing lingers. You know what I'm saying? It's still going to be out there, bud. Okay? This thing lingers in bushes, okay? I mean, it's a thief in the night. You know what I'm saying? The darkness, the shadow is his friend. And then it just comes and when it comes and talks to the older people, unfortunately, depending on how many of the comorbidities they have, it can be potentially detrimental. So we see this right here, and they knew from the start that, hey, bud, if you're under 59, man, you need to move on. You know what I'm saying? But right now, we got a whole bunch of young folk talking about they need to get a jab. I'm like, for what? Man, they knew back in March that you didn't need no jab for this thing. And this is when they thought it was the plague, okay? The Black Plague. Now, Neil Ferguson, the guy who said lock down, shut everything down, social distance, and he won't even talk about wearing a mask to start off with. But he told you to do those things. Make sure you crush your economy. And he's the same guy who got caught a couple months later when he supposedly tested positive for the COVID, traveling, banging some old home dude's wife. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the same guy. He out there tagging him some meat while he got the COVID. I'm like, hold on a second. And ain't been no rebuttal. Ain't nobody slander his name. I mean, they haven't even raised a fist towards him just about. It's just like, oh well. And they still allow him to keep a job, keep talking. I don't get it. Now, I'm going to go to a couple tweets so y'all can see a couple things that Neil Ferguson has said about a lockdown. So right here, one of the things. It's a communist one-party state, we said. We couldn't get away with it in Europe, we thought, and then Italy did it. And we realized we could. Oh, yeah. You know what I'm saying? They're like, oh, man, people ain't going to give up their freedoms. Little did you know, all you got to do is scare them. Scare them to death, and they'll give up whatever. It don't make no difference. What do you need from us, oh, master? Okay, I'll give you my life. You know what I'm saying? Everything I've got. I'll lose everything to stay in this cult. Now I'm going to show you another thing that we seen from Neil Ferguson, what he was saying about a lockdown. And right here, and I quote, these days, lockdown feels inevitable. It was, he reminds me, anything but. If China had not done it, he says, the year would have been very, very different. So there it is right there. We took our P's and Q's from a communist state, a totalitarian state. You know what I'm saying? Well, state country. And when this happened a year ago, I was bamboozled because I was like, are we really taking our cues from a communist country? I mean, come on now. I said, man, we can't be serious. But when I looked at initial things, it was like, what's the symptoms of it? Fever and a cough. I said, hell, bud, how you gonna figure out who got it? Fever and a cough? Dang, bud. I mean, folk get that about once a year. How you gonna figure this thing out? Now I want to show you one of the propaganda pieces that China had put forth to terrify everybody. And here it is right here, bud. This was the propaganda that folks were dropping dead in the street. You know what I'm saying? Dropping dead right in the street with their mask on too. So they should have gave you an indication. They said, well, dang, Bo, don't look like the mask gonna save you. You know what I'm saying? But folks strapped them up anyway. It's like, oh yeah, what Fauci say? Fauci said they good now. Oh, okay, good. He said, man, but when this stuff initially started, he said, man, if I was a young person, man, I'd go on a cruise. I wouldn't have any problem doing that at all. Now, Fauci said this. The very next day, he said, man, this is the Black Death. I'm sure of it. He said, hold on, Fauci. I mean, dang, about 8 hours of sleep and the thing's the Black Death. Come on, man. I mean, let's get serious, bud. So this was the propaganda. I mean, but China gained a major victory. You know what I'm saying? They said, but we ain't going to go fight nobody. We just going to let people destroy themselves. Now, we had the whole summer where it was masking, and people keep telling me that masks save lives, and I ain't seen where it saved anybody yet. Nobody has any concrete evidence that it saved anybody, period. Zero, zilch, none. Or that it has any type of effect on the spread of the COVID, okay? So we all know that to be a fact. But I'm going to go to a couple things that's happening right now. We fast forward a year later just to see where we're at. And so as we fast forward a year later, we see things like this. Coronavirus. Vaccine passports offer freedom, mobility, access to certain jobs and are inevitable. Guys, pay attention. If you looked out there in Israel right now, right this very second, they are putting green badges on folks. They're making you carry your phone around to scan to get into places. You see what I'm saying? Bud, right this very second. And those folks fell for it. You know what I'm saying? They're like, oh yeah, we're going to open shops, museums, schools. You know what I'm saying? But you're going to need to have this QR code showing that you got your COVID vax or that you had a negative test recently. And, you know, once you get that and you try to get into a place, we'll give you a green badge giving you the all go. You know what I'm saying? And if you ain't got it, then you can't do nothing, okay? So they just pretty much blackmailing people into getting the VAXX. It's blackmail. You know what I'm saying? An experimental jab. And they blackmailing the folks. And they going for it. But do you know what the dumbest thing is? Is that they still gotta walk in there with a mask and socially distance. So hold on a second. What's the purpose of the jab if and the QR code and all this tyranny if when I walk into a place I still got to wear the damn face diaper and socially distance and it's restricted. You see what I'm saying? But it's just the boot of tyranny, man. That's all it is. But I mean it's crazy. But they saying it's inevitable. But inevitability is whatever people allow. You know what I'm saying? And folks are just complacent. Like, oh well, I guess that's the way things are. No, bruh. Step up. Whole bunch of young folks out here scared to death because they stupid and they ain't looking at the data, okay? That's all there is to it. I mean, they ain't doing enough of their own digging around. Maybe checking out somebody who's doing independent research. Now let's move to New York. Hey, bud, they open for weddings. Been imposed dancing rules, mandatory testing, and eating and drinking do's and don'ts. Hey, guys, you know, you can have your wedding. You know what I'm saying? And it's all good. But everybody needs to test. Let me read this word for word. Let me get down here to it. Because I want y'all to see this right here, bud. Okay? So, 150 people allowed top, requiring everyone attending the wedding to provide proof of a negative COVID test within 72 hours of the event, or an antigen test, oh Lord, within 6 hours. And we're gonna let you know where you can eat, drink. You need a social distance. You need to wear your mask. You're like, what the hell, man? I mean, you see what I'm saying? But a year later, we ain't a whole lot better. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing really that better, to be honest. Right here, Fauci says new lockdown may come if restrictions lifted too quickly. What do you mean, new lockdown? Bud, you don't need no lockdown. It's been proven across the world that a lockdown ain't gonna do nothing. But you gotta keep doing it. You know what I'm saying? If something works, you just do it one time. And not have to keep doing it. You know what I'm saying? On top of that, they got down here what the CDC talking about, cutting it from 6 feet of social distance to 3 feet. Well, hot damn. When the side 3 feet, I'm about on top of you, bruh. 3 feet? If it's gonna be 3 feet, then it need to be no feet. You need to be not worrying about it. You know what I'm saying? Now, in closing on this video, we've done become crazy with the COVID vaccines. Now, they're not FDA approved, okay? They're emergency use authorization approved. I've said this multiple times. If you want to take it, take it. If you don't want to take it, which is what I'm doing, then that's fine as well, okay? I mean, but you the one that's being experimented on if you take it. I ain't being experimented on, okay? I'm good, all right? They ain't paying me no money to be experimented on, all right? So that's just all there is to it. But right here, Moderna begins new COVID vax trials on children, including infants as young as 6 months. Bo, we don't even know what the long-term effects are of this on adults, healthy adults. And folks are going to offer up their kids to the pagan gods? But what kind? There ain't no way. Kids are not in danger of this thing. But folks can't get it through their mind. But they've crumbled. They crumpled. It's pitiful. Bud, Folks, stop being so pansified. Stop being scared. And I know a whole lot of folk on my channel, they ain't scared, okay? I mean, they've been through the data, they've seen everything, and they're like, bud, please. This ain't smallpox, this ain't the Black Death, alright? This ain't leprosy, this ain't nothing like that. This ain't even HIV/AIDS, which is still going around, you know what I'm saying? That thing will clip your full wings. But right here, bud. Company announced Tuesday has begun the process of testing this vaccine product on children aged 6 months and up, and plans to enroll about 7,000 children, ranging in age from 6 months to 12 years. So, what parents are offering their children up to this? You know what I'm saying? But when we ain't even got the full data on adults, but this thing is rushed, and you gonna put it in your child when they when they've got the lowest possibility of dying, but they got more possibility of dying at the swimming pool. Way more. But drownings are up, okay? I mean, but you gonna give your kid the jab. But it's a cult, man. It's a cult following. Now I want to show y'all this one last thing that I seen back on Twitter. And this will sum it up as far as this actually being a cult following. And it's this right here, this opinion piece, okay? This opinion piece. Now the AstraZeneca, that VAXX boat, they done had to put a timeout on that thing. Blood clots and all kind of stuff. But this right here, opinion piece. I would love to die from the AstraZeneca VAXX. It probably sounds very brutal, but some must be sacrificed in the war against the corona. That's the way it is in all wars. This time, it may well be me. But if I think that something I'm taking has a likelihood to kill me as a healthy person, why would I take it? I mean, that's all I'm saying. Why would I mess with it at all? That lets you know that this is religious belief. This is a cult following. Folk will rather die taking the VAXX, and this woman don't look that old. Well, I don't know. She got makeup on. She might be about 50. But she look like she probably in good health. Let the thing ride. But I don't get it, man. So that's it right here. Anniversary of 15 days to flatten our freedoms. Because it ain't flatten the curve. It's flatten the freedoms. And that's across the world, okay? Folks over here be rejoicing. People in New Zealand, oh yeah, we're convid free. Half a person get it. And they got to shut down a city of 8 million people. Well, I don't think it's that many. I think they got 3 or 4 million in there. But they just, oh, it's locked down now. It's just like, but you ain't done nothing, okay? Stop delaying the inevitable. I mean, dang, bud. Folk, get over it. It's it. It's done. But it's here. Let it go, bro. Why ain't you asking none of the doctors why ain't they giving people prophylactics, therapeutics? If you go to the doctor today, unless you have a good doctor, okay, and your state has not banned the use of FDA-approved drugs that we've been using for 60 years. But if you go to the doctor today and you get tested, and it comes back positive, they tell you to go home and sit on your ass. Hey, man, I hope it don't kill you. I mean, that's it. That's what we got. They don't give you nothing. Everything else you go into the doctor for, man, you can leave there with some type of prescription. Man, they try something. Man, well, man, go up to Rite Aid and get you something, man. Walgreens. Man, I got something up there for you, man. It probably knock it out. I mean, just try it. Hell, it can't hurt. Dang, they won't even try nothing. They just like, well, guess you gonna die. I mean, go ahead and write your living will and, go ahead and make sure you talk to all your folks via Zoom, and yeah, that's it. So that's what we got. That's it. So this is pitiful, man. 15 days. And that was it. The only thing that's worse than 15 days to flatten the curve was 30 days to slow the spread. Alright? Because that turned into what we got now, which is a shit show. So, I want to know what y'all's thoughts on all this in the comment section below. It's a little bit of a different video, but that's okay too. I hope y'all did enjoy it though. If you did, you know what to do. Like, share, subscribe. Click notification bell so you know when I post in the future. Catch you on the next one. Peace out.